What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for June 23rd, 2024. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Sunday edition of the podcast. Going to be another hot one. Played okay golfing yesterday. Very inconsistent again. Could not hit any putts, but got 27 holes in yesterday, 18 on Friday, 18 for Monday. I'm exhausted, but it was a good weekend. We will be back from the normal studio tomorrow. And most importantly, tomorrow kicks off the Ultimate Nickname Tournament. You can still catch the Selection Friday show available wherever you get your podcast, as well as on YouTube. Starting to get some feedback. A lot of people not happy with the selection committee. A few people said I forgot and left off Dave Zinkoff, the Zinc, and Steve Bedrosian, Bedrock, who won the Cy Young for the Phillies in '89. And yes, those two names did come up. They just did not make the list. Zinkoff probably has a legitimate gripe to being snubbed. Bedrock, though, I don't know. I think it may have been the most fraudulent Cy Young award. But keep the feedback coming. I love hearing from you about what the selection committee got wrong. It's going to be a lot of fun kicking off tomorrow. 2 matchups per day. Still have not figured out the actual schedule of matchups yet. I'll go home tonight and do that. But 2 matchups tomorrow, kicking off this day in Philly Sports History Ultimate Philly Sports Nickname Tournament. You can vote however you can get in. Call or text the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. That will get you in. Call, text, whatever you got to do. You can text me. Hit me up on social media, Jimbo_Mont, Twitter, and TikTok. On Instagram, at Philly Jimbo. I'm on Facebook and LinkedIn as well. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your friends. That was my message this weekend. Tell your friends. Let's help spread the word. We have a lot of good things coming up. Looking forward, like I said, to this nickname tournament, but we're having a lot of fun over here, so be sure to spread the word. And if you have any other names that should have been in the tournament that got snubbed, let me know. All right, let's do a recap of yesterday's question of the day. I asked you, on that 2008 Phillies team, who was the MVP? And surprising to me, he would have been probably out of the 4, probably my 4th pick. However, 42% of you said it was Chase Utley. Ryan Howard and Cole Hamels all came in at second at 28%. No love for J-Roll, which is very surprising to me. I always felt like he was the glue that kind of held that team together. But Chase Utley is your vote for the 2008 Phillies MVP. Thank you, as always, for participating in the question of the day. There'll be another one later in the show. And let's stick with the Phillies because there's lots to talk about with them today. I guess the first biggest thing was the game, 12-1 over the D-backs. The offense finally woke up. Gets a little warm at Citizens Bank Park, and like Charlie used to say, it's hitting season. Bryce, Bomer, Castellanos, and David Dahl all went deep, and then Wheeler was just Wheeler. When he needed a win, Wheeler goes out there and gives it to you. They're back at it this morning at 11:30. Nice early game against the D-backs as they look to take that series before they welcome Detroit in tomorrow. Christopher Sanchez got rewarded for his strong start to this season and I guess the ending to last season. 4-year extension keeps him here through 2028. I like this move. Has a good story about his journey to the big leagues, but he's been pitching outstanding. And if they continue to get that sort of production out of him, I think the Phils will be all right. And then the final bow on the Cole Hamels retirement ceremony. Great speech by him. It was cool that Lefty came out and gave him the ball, and then he threw the first pitch to Chooch. I was finally able to get to watch it yesterday. It's pretty cool. His speech too was spot on. He gave a shout out to the Phillies fans, basically saying, well, you guys are tough, but that's what we needed. You guys were always fair. And again, it's good to see somebody like that. I talk a lot about the fans on this podcast and just the bad rep that we get. So to have him shouted out, and especially a guy from California, and for him to be able to get it and show the love to Phillies fans is awesome. But congrats, Cole, on your retirement. Phil's looked for the series win against the D-backs this morning. But that leads to the question of the day. Bryce Harper has been heating up, and he's been talked about. I think he's second now as the favorite to win the MVP award behind Ohtani. I do think Ohtani probably will not get it because of being just a designated hitter, not pitching. But my question to you is Bryce Harper a legitimate MVP? Will he be able to win the MVP this year? 267-495-8531. Call or text the Back to the Future voice and text line. Right now, for me, I say yes, because he is playing such a high level at first base. And because Ohtani is only the DH, I think it has to be Bryce. That would be my vote. But what is your vote? As of right now, as we're approaching the halfway mark of the season, is Bryce Harper the MVP of the National League? 267-495-8531. Get you in on the Back to the Future voice and text line. Get that. Anything else Philly sports related? What other nicknames? Who else got left out of the nickname tournament? Let me know. I'm ready. You need to get ready for the 4th of July. 4th of July is right around the corner, and Philly Goat has you covered. We've been talking a lot about that. Britain blew a 13-colony lead up here this week, and it's phenomenal. It's the perfect 4th of July shirt. Get some nice shoes to match it, and you're all set. So go to phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off your order. That's phillygoat.com. Promo code Jim Montgomery. I'm telling you, get the maroon. Britain blew a 13-colony lead. Get some Schmitties to match, and you're good to go. So phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off for your order. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our soccer team is in trouble. They lost again last night to Charlotte down at Subaru Park. The fans were not happy. They were chanting and started to sell the team chant. And they are in trouble, and it's crazy. I talked about this a little the other day, how far they've fallen from just 2 years ago being in the MLS Cup. The coach is on the hot seat. The ownership is on the hot seat. So troubling times down in Chester, but the Union will look to bounce back this week after it seems like forever since they've actually won a game. They've had a couple of those couple nothing draws, but it's been a while for them, and a win will go a long way. But man, this team is in trouble. Well, I mean, maybe it'll be easier to get tickets now, but yeah, they need to do something. Some Sixers news. Apparently now the pendulum has swung so much this offseason between Jimmy Butler and Paul George. Now it's swinging back toward Jimmy Butler. Apparently, he wants a 2-year, $113 million contract extension from Miami, and Miami does not appear to be interested. It looks as though they don't even have enough money to re-sign anyone should they give him this deal. So that means they're looking for a trade, and I feel like I want Jimmy Butler even less than I wanted Paul George. So I hope somehow. I mean, the good thing about the Jimmy Butler thing is they'd have to trade, and I don't know if the Heat would do that trade with the Sixers, or if the Sixers really have anything, honestly, that the Sixers have. So hopefully it's not Jimmy Butler. It seems Paul George is seemingly more and more unlikely. I don't know. They were so high on him. Joe wants him. I think it might just be a smokescreen, but we'll see. Apparently the Sixers aren't interested in trading for Zach LaVine. So I really don't know. And this is a ridiculous era right now because Sixers did everything right. They set it up to be like this, and now there is no one to get with all the cap money. So we'll see. But the draft is Wednesday. I expect a lot of rumors between now and then. I don't know if – I think the trades can't necessarily go through until after the league's New Year starts. So you're going to see a lot of potential proposals in place. But buckle up. This is the final sprint to the NBA postseason. And by the end of this week, this team will look – it should anyway – look a lot different. But whether it's Paul George or Jimmy Butler, I'm not happy. Flyers Stanley Cup is going to end tomorrow, and then their draft is later in the week. I believe it's on Friday. And I don't know. Like, if you haven't been watching, this Cup Series has been pretty good. I was watching Game 6 the other night, and that Edmonton crowd really reminded me of how it was down to Wells Fargo Center when the Flyers were good. So it gives me hope and like excitement, because, to be honest, there is nothing like playoff hockey. It's one of the best experiences. So seeing the Edmonton Oilers crowds as fired up as it was, it's making me really long for the Flyers to get there. Won't probably be this year. They should make the playoffs, but the future is bright. Hopefully we get some Mishkov news and he just surprises everyone, comes over, and the Flyers can really ramp up and accelerate their rebuild a little bit. All right. Today, I want to wish everyone a happy Rick Wise Day. And it's Rick Wise Day because on this day in 1971, the Phils beat the Reds 4-0. Rick Wise had arguably the greatest no-hitter in Major League Baseball history. First of all, he faced 27 batters, which is the minimum. Only walked Dave Concepcion, who would then get out due to a double play. But he was not done. Rick Wise was responsible for 3 of the 4 Phillies runs. He went 2 for 4 at the plate with 2 homers and 3 RBI, helping his own cause. To date, is still the only pitcher to throw a no-hitter and hit 2 home runs in the same game. The only pitchers to ever throw a no-hitter and hit a home run in a game: Wes Farrell in 1931, Jim Tobin in 1944, and Earl Wilson in 1962. But Rick Wise did them one better by hitting 2. Later that season, he would hit 2 home runs in a game again on August 28th. He was an all-star that year. And the only pitcher right now, the only way this will ever happen is if Ohtani is able to come back and begin pitching at a high level again. He, as of right now, is the only one who would be able to match Rick Wise's feat. So it appears that likely his record of pitching a no-hitter with 2 homers in the same game is safe. He was traded the following year, you might remember, for Steve Carlton to the Cardinals. 2 lefty shout-outs here in one podcast. It's got to be some kind of record. But Rick Wise, probably better known for being the guy that was involved in the Steve Carlton trade, one of the most, can't even really call it lopsided, because Rick Wise was solid and had a solid career after that. But I think the Phillies certainly got far and away the better part of that deal. But happy Rick Wise Day. On this day in 1971, Rick Wise threw a no-hitter and then helped his own cause with 2 homers and 3 RBI. Still the only one to ever hit 2 home runs in his own no-hitter. And he only faced 27 batters, so he did it. Like I said, arguably the best no-hitter ever. And if there's another no-hitter that you think is better, possibly one in the postseason, let me know that. But Rick Wise, 2 home runs and a no-hitter on the same day, this day in 1971. Finally today, we're going to complete our final trip down Phillies Memory Lane. And we're going to end with Randy Reddy, who's a utility guy, played a couple infield positions, also played in, I think it was left field he would play in. He was a 6th-round pick of the Brewers. Probably best known here in Philly as being one of the guys that came over with John Kruk in exchange for Chris James. Another lopsided trade. Maybe that's a topic for the future for us, is the most lopsided trades in Phillies history. And we certainly know, like, there's a lot that we did the other way. See Ferguson Jenkins, Ryan Sandberg, Von Hayes. But Randy Reddy came over from the Padres with John Kruk in 1989 for Chris James. Spent 89 through 91 with the Phillies. Most seasons he played with anyone in his career. He was a respectable .256 hitter, 11 homers, 70 RBI, 31 double, and then left as a free agent after the 91 season. Would play 13 years, .259, 40 homers, 239 RBI, 107 doubles. So, again, just a solid guy. Just one of those guys you could play, and if you needed help here, there, he was ready to play. And Kruk always does talk about how good of a teammate he was. So that's why I wanted to finish up with him. Probably one of his most memorable moments in Philly as a Philly, though. He almost had an unassisted triple play in 1991. Should have had it, but unselfishly threw the ball to first base to Ricky Jordan for the third out, who we talked about the other day. But could have had an unassisted triple play, which is one of the more rare feats in Major League Baseball history, but gave it up to give it to Ricky Jordan. But he was involved in one of the Phillies' triple plays in their history. Today, and our final Phillies Memory Lane spotlight, Randy Reddy, utility guy. Again, probably better known for being the guy that was traded with John Kruk. And we all know what happened with John Kruk, Phillies legend. But Randy Reddy is today and our final Phillies Memory Lane spotlight. It's been fun going down Phillies Memory Lane and thinking about some of these guys that we had forgotten about. But tomorrow, the nickname tournament kicks off with 2 matchups still to be determined. Stay tuned for that. Be sure to listen every day for your daily Philly sports history lesson and get your votes in early and often. And like I said, spread the word. And be sure to go around and wish everyone a happy Rick Wise Day. Pitched a no-hitter, hit 2 home runs, 3 RBI on this day in 1971. The greatest no-hitter in Major League Baseball history. We will have more on the Sixers and Flyers as they prepare for the draft tomorrow. Phil's looking for that series sweep against the D-backs. As I mentioned, be sure to vote in the question of the day. Is Bryce the MVP? 267-495-8531. Back to the Future voice and text line. Get that. Let me know who else got snubbed in the tournament. The Zinc and Bedrock. What do you guys think? Should they have been in? Who should they have been in over? I keep saying they didn't perform well in their conference tournament, and that hurt them. But let me know. 267-495-8531. Let's have a lot of fun over the next month with this tournament. Spread the word. Stay cool out there today. I don't think I could play another 9 even if I had to today. But not sure. We might play. We'll see. But go. Enjoy your Sunday. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for June 23rd, 2024. I'm Jim Montgomery. We'll be back live in the Fort Washington studios tomorrow. But until next time, I'll see you when I see you.